Farm Basics is brought to you by the Liberty Link trait and Liberty herbicide from Bayer. The most reliable weed management solution, Liberty Link and Liberty herbicide are the link to efficient row crop production and sustainable weed management.
During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics in agriculture. It's when people bring up the words conservation and sustainability.
Certainly, as farmers, we want to make sure this ground is productive, and we want it to be even more productive tomorrow than it is today. And that's easy for us as farmers to understand, but if you aren't on the farm, you may not understand it. You may think, you know what, farmers are probably motivated by the dollar, and they're looking at how can I get the most money out of this ground today, and who cares about tomorrow because I might not be here. Well, that's really not how farmers look at it. In fact, the ground that I'm standing on right now, my great-grandpa farmed it. My grandpa farmed it, my dad farmed it, and here we are. Fourth generation farming this same soil, and we're very hopeful that the next generation, that our kids will want to farm this ground too. And that's how we look at ground, and when it comes to terms like conservation and sustainability, that's what I think. I think, wow, I want to make sure this ground is in great shape, so when my kids want to farm it, they're able to do so and make some money.
Okay, and I do not look at that at all. I look at the words conservation and sustainability as we want to remain the same, okay? And the whole thing is, I do not believe that God put me here on earth to help farmers remain the same. Our job is to figure out how we can provide more food, how we can make our ground better, how we can make our communities better and the environment better. I don't want to just stay the same. Let's make things better. So when we talk about conservation and sustainability, those words to me mean stay the way it is. What we're looking for and what we're always talking about here on Ag PhD is to try to improve things. So I want to go a step above and beyond conservation and sustainability. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we want to do anything bad for the land or the environment or anything else. All I'm saying is, with modern science, we now know how to farm better. We know how to make the land better. We also have much better equipment we can farm with, much better technology that we can use, so we can make things better, and that's really what I'm after.
I do look at both of those terms as, all right, let's protect the environment. Now, let's be frank, that's what it is. It's not about, hey, do we keep farmers in business? Do farmers make money? It's, let's protect the environment. So you take a field like the one that we're standing in. We've reduced the tillage in this field. The field's a little bit rolly. It's not, super big hills or anything like that. But even on our flat ground, we've reduced the amount of tillage that we're doing over the years versus what my grandpa was doing, or even my dad, what he was doing when he first started farming. So we're leaving more crop residue from last year's crop on the soil surface so it can protect the soil. And you say, well, how does that work? Well, one of the big things is rain. When you get raindrops and they hit on black soil, what happens, well, any color soil, but it hits on bare soil, it splashes and it brings some particles of soil up. And as it does that, when water's running off the field with heavy rains, it's going to carry some of that soil with it, and we have erosion. And when we leave crop residue on top of the ground, now all of a sudden those rain droplets that are really falling pretty fast and hard are going to hit on some residue, get deflected, and not stir up all that soil, so we don't see nearly the erosion problem. The other thing that we've done in this particular field is we've improved the drainage. When we talk about drainage tile or subsurface drainage tile, the biggest benefit we've got, it's not necessarily all about the water and raising a bigger crop, but we look at erosion, and erosion has been reduced, and you can see that in university studies over generations, that as soon as we put subsurface drainage tile in, we're going to have less soil erosion because now more of the water can move down through the soil instead of across on the top.
One of the other big things that we've done is we're placing the fertilizer exactly where it needs to be. So whether it's corn or soybeans in this particular field, those crops are raised in 30-inch rows. And what we'll do is in the fall, we will place the fertilizer directly below where we're going to plant in the spring, and that's thanks to RTK GPS. So we can, what we call strip till, place the fertilizer where it needs to be. We're more efficient with our fertilizer use, so we can use less fertilizer and get more crop. And, that's really what we're after here, is trying to best use our overall budget and our overall nutrient package and everything else, best use that to raise a great crop. So we're not overusing nutrients, but we're better utilizing those nutrients. So yeah, it's really been a lot of fun. This is a great topic. We love talking to non-farmers about conservation and sustainability. Those words are popular buzzwords today, but what we're looking for on the farm is a step above and beyond that. We want improvement in our land.
And one thing that's definitely improved over the years is weed control. Controlling weeds like our Weed of the Week is not that hard if you get out ahead of it. We'll talk about the options coming up later in the show.